Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to create this chip bag. Now, it may not be exactly the same, but this is basically what we're going for, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to File, we're going to go to New, and now we're going to choose our paper size. So the size that we're working with is 11 by 8.5 inches in a landscape orientation. We can go ahead and we're going to name it. So it'll be, I guess you could say Coco Melon chip bag. I'm going to change anything else. We want to make sure our resolution is 300 and not change anything else. And we're going to hit create. All right. So I have a template that I normally use. Um, you can get templates from a site called Adriana's Papercraft. It used to be free. As of this recording, it's free, but I know she's going to be charging for it very soon. So you can check her out, or you can go on Etsy and purchase it over there. Okay, so let's go to File, Place Embedded, and I'm going to go to where I have my stuff saved. Okay, and I'm going to grab my template. Okay, it's not there. So let's see. Where do I have it saved? Right here. Okay, once it's in, we're going to say okay. All right, so here's the fun part. So this is how I design my chip bags. Before I get started, I like to place a rule line where each one of these lines are. And the way to do it is I'm going to come up here where these numbers are. This is my ruler. I have one to the top and I have one to my left. Okay, if you don't see yours, you want to go on your keyboard and you want to hit the control key along with the letter R, and that should bring it back into view. Okay, so you want to go here, you want to left click and drag. And we're going to just bring the ruler to each line, release it. You want to click, drag, and release. Come over here to the left and do the same thing for each one of these lines. You want to click, drag, release, click, drag, release, click. You get the idea. And the reason I like to do it this way is when I start designing and putting stuff on top of this template, all this information is going to disappear. And I need to know where my lines are so that I don't go too far over left or right, okay, or top or bottom, or however I decide to design. So let's go and bring in all our elements. We're going to go to File, Place Embedded, and I'm going to go to where I have everything saved. All right. And I'm going to bring in some stuff. Okay. So we're going to bring in a background. Okay. Let's bring in this background. Bring that in. We're going to say, okay. We're going to go back and we're going to grab some other stuff. File, Place Embedded. Let's bring in the rainbow. We can bring in Coco Melon, and we can bring in the family. So you can click the rainbow, hold down your shift key, and come here to the family. Oh, that didn't work. No? Okay, so that didn't work. Okay, so let's just go ahead and bring in, oh, these are supposed to work. Anyway, it didn't work. Anyway, just bring in one at a time. Place. Okay, let's go back. File. Place. Let's bring in Coco. All right, go back again. File. Place. Bring in the family. Gonna say okay. Go back again. We're gonna go to File. Place Embedded. Let's see who else we want to bring. Oh, let's bring in the logo. Click on it, hit place, come up here and check this check mark to say we agree. Okay, go back, File, Place Embedded. I just want to make sure I bring in everything. Oh, let's bring in our nutritional facts. Say okay. Let's bring in our barcode. I have the nutritional facts, but I don't have the barcode. Where is the barcode? Oh, I didn't bring that. I didn't think I gotta look for the barcode. I have it. So let's just bring in one more element off of this, which is let's bring in this one here with the cake and hit place. And then let's just go and look for that barcode. File, place embedded. I probably may have it somewhere else. So let's see where I have it. Let's see if I have it in templates. No? Where it is. Okay. Oh, see one right there. That's a barcode right there. All right. Now we can hit place. All right. So now we have all of our elements. Okay. So let's just turn the eye off on the stuff that we're not working with right now. We're just gonna go ahead and start off with the background. So we're gonna come over here to our layers panel and we're just gonna close the eye on everything that we're not using right now. And we're just gonna leave the background uh, on. So let's go and we're gonna size our background. We're gonna move it and put it into place. Okay. You can either stretch it, or if you didn't want to stretch it, you can grab from one of the corners, hold down your shift key, and that'll keep the size without it looking stretched. Okay? Hit OK. So now this is the fun part. Hey, hey, hey. What do we want to bring in next? Okay, so let's turn the eye on the clouds or the rainbow. Okay, it's a little big, so we're gonna, small she up. So we're gonna go to one of the corners with our mouse, go on our keyboard, hit our shift key, and we're gonna make it a little smaller, okay? All right, and we're just gonna place it where we want. So remember now we have these lines here to guide us. So we wanna make sure that everything is within this line because it's gonna help us make sure that nothing, everything is where we want it to be. Once we're happy with that, we're gonna say, okay. So now let's go and bring in the family. So we get two families. We get this one and we get the one with the cake. I am liking the one with the cake. So I'm going to turn the eye off of the family and leave the one with the cake. Okay, so we're going to click it and then we're going to size it down. Okay, so let's put it anywhere for right now. Oh, and don't forget now we had the logo, the Coco Melon logo, which is number 25. Turn the eye on that. And we're going to bring that down to the bottom. Now notice Coco Melon, the logo is behind the family. We want it to be to the front. So we're going to come over here. We're going to make sure it's selected. We're going to left click and we're going to drag. As I drag it, you notice two blue lines. And wherever you want it to drop, the blue line, you just left the blue line at that point and release. So now it's at the top where I like it right there. You're going to put it to the top or to the bottom. Put it to the bottom for right now. Okay, that's fine for me. All right, so we got some nutritional facts. We're going to bring those in. So bring this on that side. Hold on our shift key. We're going to size it. Put it right there. Child, it's already starting to look like something. We're going to say okay. And then we're going to bring in our barcode, which we did not. Oh, yeah, right at the top. Barcode. We're going to highlight it. Go to our shift key. Size it down. It's still a little bit too much. I don't want it too close. I just want it to be right there. And we're going to put it somewhere in there. Okay? And I think, okay, so that's good. All right. So now let's add in some words. Okay? Let's go back to our design and see what we had. Okay, we had the child's name at the top, and then we said thanks for coming here, and also we put in the child's name. I'm going to also put a number. Okay, so let's go ahead and type in thanks for coming on this side. So we're going to go over here. We're going to click um, the T or the text tool, horizontal text tool. And we're going to come up here and we're going to find a font that we like. So you're going to just click the drop down arrow and you can go ahead and you can scroll through till you find. But I have a font that I already know I want to use, and it's called Bubble. Bubble, 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 bubble. All right. And I can't remember exactly where I got this font from, but you can check a site called thefont.com, and that's DAFONT.com. And you can look for fonts that you like. Okay. My size is at 72 and my color is black. So that's fine for right now. So we're just going to click right here and we're going to type a name. I'm going to type my daughter's name, Shanaz, and I'm going to say okay. I'm going to go back to my move tool and I'm just going to move her name in place and I'm going to size it. If I take my mouse and I just drag it, it's going to be a little wonka wonka, right? So let's go to edit, undo. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our shift key, hold down the shift key and grab, and it'll keep it in proportion. All right. So now at this point, you can say, okay, we're going to put some words on the side. Don't worry, it coming together. It ain't really looking like much, but honey, it's going to look good when we finish. Okay. So two ways you can do this. You could either click on the name again, come over here to the layers panel, right click and duplicate layer and say okay. And you now have a new layer. You could just bring it over. You could double click it and just type in there. Or you could go back to the text tool and and hit text tool again and just write again. Okay, so here we go. We have thanks for coming to my party. All right, so look at that. So we're gonna say okay. Now, this is a hot mess. The names are all squunched up. So we're going to fix that by going to properties and we're going to scroll down, and where you see this up and down arrow, it's at 22. So let's increase that from 22 to, let's try 48. Okay, let's go a little larger. Let's try 72. Okay, so I think 72 is good. So let's go back to our layers panel. So we're going to click it. And it's kind of a little hiding a lot of stuff that I want to see. So I'm going to just take my mouse, sorry, and hover it right here till it gets two backward arrows, left click and drag. So now I can see better all my layers. All right, so now we can go ahead and we can size this down by taking our mouse and go into one corner and holding down our shift key on our keyboard and making it a little bit smaller. Making sure it's in there. It's still a little too big, so we're gonna, let me see, small it up a little bit. Okay, so before we move on to the next thing, which is making this text really pop off the paper, I got some empty space here. I got some empty space here. So I'm going to fill these in with something. So we had the cocoa melon. So we're going to bring cocoa melon in. And I think I'm going to put cocoa melon down to the bottom here. You can put it wherever you want. And drag and make it a little smaller. I put cocoa melon down here. I think that looks good. And then we can go back and we can say okay. And then we're going to go back to our downloads and find something to go in there. So we're going to go to File, Place Embedded, We're going to go where we have everything saved. I have my own save in clip art, Coco melon. So let's bring in the, I don't know why, but I like this little pig, but we're not going to use it. Let's use the puppy and place. All right, bring him over and size him down. And that should be fine right there. So you could adjust stuff and move stuff around if you feel like things are too close. And right there. So we're almost done. Isn't that exciting? So let's just make these words pop off the screen, change it from black, and we'll be done. So we're going to go back and we're going to click the name. We're going to come over here where it says effects, FX, effects, blending options. And the first thing I want to do is I want to change the color. Okay, I'm going to change the color to, so let's go to color overlay. So we're going to click it. Oh, that pink is kind of nice. If I wasn't happy with that pink, I gotta come right next to the color overlay and click right here in the box next to it. And then I gotta come up here and I gotta change the color by coming in here and selecting a color, or I gotta move my mouse over here and choose a color out of the design. Okay, but that pink was fine for me, so I'm gonna cancel it. All right. So let's just make the name show a little bit more on the thing. So let's give it a bev. And if your bevel don't looks like mine, you can click right next to it. You can come right here and you can hit reset default. Okay. And then you can come here and you can adjust your bevel to your liking, which I kind of like that. So you can choose the size, you can change the softness, you can change the opacity, you can change the depth. You can change it from being an inner bevel to being an outer bevel, which the outer bevel is kind of cool, but we're going to leave it to inner. Okay. I'm also going to put a stroke on it. So we're going to click stroke. Now the stroke is white, which is perfect. But if it wasn't white, we could have clicked right next to stroke. And then we could have come right here in the color box and we could have adjusted it to whatever we wanted. Okay, I like the white, so I'm not going to change it. If your white is not big enough for you, you can come right here where it says size and you can make it as big as you want. So that's good enough for me. And I'm going to also add a drop shadow, and again, click right in the box next to it. If it's not the way it looks on my screen, you want to hit reset default, and then you can come here and you can change the distance. You can change the spread. You can change the size. Okay, but that's good enough for me. And now I'm going to move this box over, come in the corner and say, okay. I think that's pretty. Adjust it if you like and hit okay. All right, so let's do the same thing for thanks for coming. We're going to click on it. We're going to come over to our layers panel down to the bottom, hit the FX blending option, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to add in the same thing. We're going to do a color overlay, and this time I'm going to change the color to a different color. So we're going to click right next to it. We're going to come up to the pink, and I think I want to choose a blue. But let's choose a blue out of the design. Yeah, so let's choose that blue. I think that blue is pretty. And we're going to say okay. We're going to also add a stroke. We're going to also add a bev. And we're going to also add a drop shadow. Okay. Now I'm thinking that blue is still a little bit too light for me. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to change it to a darker blue. Yes. And that's better for me. And I'm going to say okay. Bring this over and say okay. At this point, you're actually done. Now, if you want to add a couple of finishing touches, you can actually put a stroke onto your nutritional facts by just clicking on it. Go into effects, blending option, and you can put a stroke on it. You could change the color of the stroke to another color. Let's change it to a color order of the design. Let's use this green. Okay. Say okay. And we can do this. Sorry. And say okay. And we can do the same thing for the RSVP. Come to the bottom, hit the effects, blending option, put a stroke, change the stroke color to another color, order the design, click on the color, and let's go with the yellow and say okay. And at this point, we are done, 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 done. So at this point, you could go ahead and save it and send it to your client. Oh, we were supposed to add a number. I forgot. Let's add the number. Let's just go ahead and click on the name. Come over here to the layers panel. Right click, duplicate layer. Okay. And we're going to change this number to a 4. Double click on it and just 4. Hit OK. And now we could just put the number 4 wherever we want to put it. I'll put it right there. And voila, we're done. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save it, send it to our clients, or we can print it, whatever you choose to do. At this point, you can do it. So we're going to go to File. We're going to go ahead and say Save a copy onto your computer. Okay, we're going to find a place to save it. It's already saved in the JPEG, which is perfect. And we're going to hit Save. All right, hit OK. If I go to my downloads or wherever I have it saved, right there it is. Now I can go ahead and send it to my client. Let's see what it looks like without the lines. Oh, and the lines did not print. So this is gorgeous. Hello, somebody. All right. So let's go back. And now we're going to save it um, as a PSD file so that we can come back later if we want to design it or change something on it. Maybe you have another client and they love this design, but they just want you to change the name and change the number, and you can do that. So let's save it as a PSD file. We're going to go to File, Save As. I'm going to save it on the cloud. I rarely save stuff on my computer. If I do save it on my computer, I'm going to save it on an external hard drive. Okay. But for the point of this lesson, we're going to save it to the Creative Cloud. Okay, we're going to find a place to save it at. I normally save these in my templates. All right, and then I'm going to hit save. And we'll know that it's saved in the cloud because it puts a little cloud right next to it, which is so cool. And then we can go ahead and we can just exit. All right, so close this out, close this out. All right, so here it is. It's saved here. So now you have a client. I'm going to show you this quick thing. A client comes and they say, "Oh, I just need you to just, edit. I love the design, but I want you to put my child's name in it and my child's number." We're going to go to Open. We're going to find our file wherever it is on our cloud, and it's now open. We're going to come here, double click, and change the child's name to whatever the person's child name is, which could be um, Jeanette. Oops. Jeanette. Oops. Jeanette. And we can change the age. Double click. I'm going to put 7. Say OK. If she say, no, I don't like the pink, and you change the pink to a different color, you could double click it. Actually go up here. Hold on. No, let's not do that. Click it. Not double click. One click. Effects. Oh, let's do it again. Okay. One click. Effects. Blending options. Go to your color overlay, and we're gonna change the color. She said she probably tell you that she like purple instead. And you can change it to a purple. Hit OK. Hit OK. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. We have a lot more coming, a lot more to look at, more tricks and tips. So keep on learning.